Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Monday, April 26, 2020. This is John. Troy is still off grid. We'll probably do the session Wednesday. And I believe he has a trade hacking session scheduled for Thursday. At noon. But otherwise, it's going to be me today, Tuesday, and Thursday. Projecting NinjaTrader 8. Please do say good morning. Hit the like button. It does help the channel. Russell in a trade about 10 minutes too early, so we'll look for a new setup there. The YM also in a long trade, but that trade has hit money management, so we'll be looking for a new setup there as well. No get in sync with money management already being hit. Crude oil. Interesting. Does not let me select it. There it goes. Back up here and take a look at what we had. First trade of the morning is at 60.84. You got money management and one tick from target is at 65. We got as low as 66. So missing target by one tick, unfortunately. And that is target 1. And a one tick break even stop out. Second trade is at 60.86. Money management at 99. Targets at 61.01 and 61.10, which we hit both of those. So target 1 and 2 fixed position trade. Good for 39 points on top of the two ticks for the first trade, 41 on the day. And if you are only trading one fixed and a trailer, looks like you went to this one right here and stopped out at 61.24. So POQ on the 8-tick crude 9 a.m. mini session. The markets are open. The Russell just hit its money management, so they're definitely off the table for a get in sync. Unleaded gas. Interesting this morning in that we have this trade 45 seconds or 44 seconds before our start time. Next bar, likely by our start time, we were going on. It was on the short side. It went. This is a trade off the 50 EMA. These are yellow trade. It went up exactly to the 50 EMA and came back down. I would get in sync with that trade any day. And it gives us a target 2 of 66 ticks entry is at 96.54. So unleaded has dipped below $2 again. And we ultimately get a stop at 95.76. From 96.54. So 68 ticks. So that's definitely a one and done session. If you didn't get in sync with that, then your first trade is the long at 906.41 with entry at 95.96. Money management at 96.42, target at 96.75, which ultimately does get hit also. And you come over for a trailing stop at 97.03. So 107 ticks on the trailer and 79 on the target. That actually ends up being a better trade, I believe, than the first one. It's 78 on the. So yeah, both ways to play that were one and done POQs. And it looks like there is our first trade on the pound Aussie. 78.23. Make your spread allowance there. Oh, soybeans has been running along rather rapidly here. Looks like we did get in, let's see, 9:30 start. Yeah, the opening was way too fast to catch the trade. So we move on to the short. The short is just at 7 seconds afterwards. Yeah. That one's also too fast. So the third trade is where we're going to be. 31 seconds in, 39. Yeah, that's the likely trade. Target 1, target 2, and a small trailer. That's going to be a one and done on soybeans. Bang, bang, bang. $78.26 for the entry on trade today. And actually, I like that. That's a 3-tick adjustment. Well, actually, it still doesn't get above the 20 SMA, so I would have to take it at 23 off of my chart. Let's see. Actually, that was probably, I think, I seem to remember, I didn't look at it carefully. Yes, you had to get in sync on this long that it was in already. So yes, you had entries at 61.13 and 60.84, and of course it triggered the short. Was the first thing it triggered, missing money management just barely, and then coming back and giving us the long. So yes, Brett, that was exactly what it should have been. Because you had to get in sync with the long trade at 61.13, and then you pick at 9:02. You pick up the short signal that ultimately triggers in. But after our start, well, actually, you might have gotten ticked in on that one. With that spike, I would have pushed it to 61.16. That's a big trade to begin with. So it's got plenty of room. I'd have pushed the entry to 61.16. That would have kept you out of it, because you had the 50 right up through here, and that's a dangerous place to be, trying to reverse against that. So this spike at 8:51, I would have gotten a tick at least a tick beyond, and key level would push you on to 16. So yes, get in sync with the long. So you would have had that order in, and then you would have ultimately ended up in the short that went. And while I was talking about that, the Russell was being active, and the YM both being active this morning. We've got a long on the YM. And a target one, it looks like. So that's going to be a one and done session. 21 tick target at 34.022. Entry at 34.001. And a partial on the trailer. So if we look at, we had a quick short. Yeah, that was just 7 seconds to the next bar. I suspect that was not tradable the way it was, and would have been avoided. Yeah, your next trade is the long if you're trading the SMA trades. 88.1. That hits target 1. And a stop out at 89.4. And another SMA trade stops on a versus to short. At 89.2, and that's where we are now, is everybody's in the short, because that would be the first trade for gold level traders and the third trade for diamond level traders. Actually, if you were using target 1 for a take profit, that is, trade number 1 was POQ. And the Pound Aussie long trade is live on Trade Today from 26. That's a sizable trade, but we've got to work up to the 20 and the 50 to get to targets. So the YM is done. And unfortunately, a full stop on the short trade on soybeans. But we are actually now in a long trade. And actually, if you adjusted around the 20 SMA, that would have kept you out of the short. How big an adjustment was that? Trend is, that's not what I need to look at. Moving average is 30.69, and our entry was 31. Yeah, I'd probably go to 30.50. And I believe that kept us, yep, 30.50 would have kept us out of it. And so we are now in the long trade. Okay, so we got into the long trade actually. That took us to 3 targets and trailer almost target 3. And so I suspect that one got us positive. So I'm assuming if you didn't avoid the short, it's a 17 tick loss, so 68 for 4 positions. We picked up 10, 17, and 24 on the targets. That's 51. And 1 tick less than target 3 on the trailer. So 23 is 74, and that's a POQ. So 1 and done if you avoided the short, 2 and done if not. And the Russ stopping and reversing to long, 92.3. So long on the Russell, long on the Pound Aussie. The crude, unleaded, YM, and soybeans all POQ. Soybeans with a target 1 and a partial on the subsequent short. We didn't need that to get positive. And Russell stopping and reversing back to short. 90.2. Money management and target 1 and target 2 on the short. So that's a winner on the short. 21 ticks to target 2. Stop would be at 90.1 with the stop and reverse adjustment. And the Russell with target 3. Not moving rapidly right now. Target 4 on the Russell. And the trailer is starting to come down now. And the trailing stop to 89.2 on the Russell. Russell and the YM now taking significant down moves, as is soybeans. Selling off. A 7.6 for the Russell stop. The entry on that trade was 90.1. So we've got 2.5 points. So 25 ticks already. And now down to 86.6. So that's 35 ticks. So we're down 112 going into this trade. Actually, more than that. 92.2 to 90.2. 152 down 152 on 2 positions. Okay, and we got a trailer down to 85.6 from 90.2 is 4.6. So 46 ticks, and 21 is 67 from 152. Puts us down 85. And we have the long from 83.8. And we've got target 2 on that, which was 37. So that puts us down 48. In fact, you're actually positive now for the gold level traders because you didn't have the initial SMA long, which was a 52 tick loss. So you were actually only down 100. So 67 and 37 puts you positive by 4 ticks. And whatever the trailer gets us. The pound Aussie's not moving very far, very fast, so let's take a look at this one. Problematic right through there, unfortunately. So gold level traders didn't take the 52 tick loss off of this initial long, plus your entry was 2 ticks higher, so that was four ticks less loss on this. So you were actually down only 96. So down 29 going into this trade. So you're up 12, and we now have the stop at 87.7 from 83.8. So 39 ticks on the trailer. And that puts gold level traders with 9 ticks. Or I'm sorry, diamond level traders within 9 ticks of being even. $88.2 for the stop now. That's just 1 tick off the low of the bar. I might be persuaded to bring that down to 87.9 just to try to stay in this a little longer. Okay, 88.2 stopped out, and so did 87.9. So that is the 6th trade. For the diamond level traders, you ended up down 9 or 12, depending on if you made that last adjustment. Gold level traders ended up, what, plus? No, let's see. 87.7 was 12, or was 9. So down 4 or 7 for diamond level. $4.4. So 56 or 53 ticks positive for gold level traders. Gold level was a positive day on the Russell, and a solidly positive day on the Russell. Diamond level was marginally negative, just 4 or 7 ticks. So $20 to $35 was the total loss of the day on the Russell on the 1.5 point momentum bar. And so we are down to the pound Aussie, and let's look in on the euro yen and see what it's doing. And it looks like the euro yen has a one and done day today, or will be. Picking up a short. Setup is at 8.33, but it looks like it didn't trigger in until almost an hour later. And then quickly down to target 1 and money management. Stop currently at 47. 130.47. Our entry was at 48. Target 1 was 16 pips. So targets at 16, 25, 33, and 42 pips. Okay, 10 a.m. crude. Just picked up a long signal. 61.46. For the 10 a.m. session. So crude with entry at 61.46, looking for 61.60 for money management. Target 1 at 62, target 2 at 70. There's the trade. Interesting that all those three shorts all were in the squeeze zone and filtered out. It's like a fairly slow drift upward. Another couple of bars, and we'll have a crossover of the 50 crossing above the 200, and that will filter out any shorts for at least 8 bars. or not any shorts, but as any shorts showing up above the 50 EMA. Fairly quick session this morning. Okay, let's put this back to normal size. Check in on the currencies. Pound Aussie testing the balance line. And the Euro Yen, and just hovering right around money management right now. The 16-tick target 1 already achieved on that. All right. Crude testing the moving averages. Stop on the trade at 61.22, which is down below all of the moving averages, so that's actually a good thing. I've got all three moving averages there, hopefully providing support in there somewhere above our stop point. And there is another filtered trade, another filtered short, and I believe that one's going to be filtered by the squeeze zone because we haven't crossed over yet. Entry at 29. Yeah, an EMA at 29. So fractionally, the entry is probably slightly below the 200. And that puts the 50 between it and target 1. So that it is filtered as a squeeze zone trade. All the way down to the 50 EMA and then moving back up. So we'll see if that failure to get lower gives us a stronger move up. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Euro yen starting to try to work through its 200 EMA. So this bar, it looks like, is our crossover point. 200 EMA and 50 EMA are both 61.29. Assuming we continue to move higher, or at least assuming the next bar is prints higher and the 50 moves up, or assuming the 50 moves up on the next bar, we will have a crossover. I must have add-ons turned on. I need to turn them off. Yep. Get that extraneous trade out of there. And we do have a crossover. So we will not, any shorts between now and the time we get the magenta bar will be filtered by the crossover filter. Testing the 50 and 200 again. Still full risk on the trade. And crude with a stop and reverse. That trade we got because this entry in printed below the 200 EMA. Entry at 28. So stop and reverse at 26. And it did trigger in. I'm sorry, 24 would be the stop and reverse entry. So 14 would be money. Okay. Okay, so 12 is money management. Stop and reverse saved us a couple of ticks. Euro yen stopped down to 130.42. And the pound Aussie still in no man's land. And now we have appears we're going to have a crossover. The 50 going below the 200. So now we'll have to get above the 50 to get a long trade, for at least for the next 8 bars. And we do have an oversold condition. Not going anywhere very fast. Any questions? Anything anybody has questions about or wants any explanation of? And now moving down on crude. 61.12 for our there, and there's money management and target one. $61.10 for the target. 15 ticks for target one. Now our next hurdle is this swing low right over here, where this set of exhaustion dots start at 61.08. If we can get down through that, target two is what, 60? So target two is 60.99. I think I would step that up to 61 even. And 61.23 is our stop, and that's been hit. Testing the EMAs again. Let's see if it's going to push through. So not positive yet. And so the long is valid. For trade number 3. All right. $130.38 for the Euro Yen stop. And missing it by one tick. Depending on how much room you give it for spread, and there is the stop hit. So you should be out of that trade, and that is done for the day. One and done session. We did hit target one, and the other four positions came off at the 130.38 stop. So 16 ticks on target one, and 10 ticks on the other four positions, so that's not bad. So that's 56 pips on the Euro Yen. Still in no man's land on the pound Aussie. And our long making progress on crude. And of course, just as I say that, it turns back against us. All right, I'll go ahead and follow this crude trade because this is the last trade of the 10 a.m. session. And that will leave us with the pound Aussie, and it's just not going anywhere. So those on the trade a day, follow what Kevin posts there, and if you're trading your charts, follow those. So there was a magenta bar for the cross below. Now we have another cross above. We didn't get a magenta bar for the original cross above because it crossed back below during those 8 bars. And this time we got our 8 bars, and then looks like we got a cross on the 9th bar. Which tells you that the price is pretty much neutral, or that the buy and sell pressures are pretty much neutral right now. But it won't stay like this indefinitely. It will move one way or the other. $61.50 now the resistance point that it's got to move through. $0.50 level. The quarters all often tend to be support or resistance points. But not always. Money management's at 61.53 and target at 61.55. And money management on crude. Bring your stop to 61.37. All right. If we can get target 1, it will get us positive. No, actually, it won't get us positive. We'll need to get target 2, well, for 2 positions. For 1 position, it will get us positive, I believe. But it's not looking good at the moment. And the pound Aussie taking heat on the long. Stop at 77.92. And we've gotten down, testing the session low at 94.3. We've gotten as low as 95.0. So within 3 pips of our stop. And crude going sideways again. And crude again to the money management. 1 tick away from target. There's target. So for 1 position, that will get you positive. For 2, you still need a bit more. Stop at 44. Need 5 more ticks to break even on 2 positions. This is the last trade of the session anyway. With the break above 55, I might push to 49, trade for break even. We're going to get a move to 49 anyway if we get an up close here. We just need 62 to close this bar up, and stop will move to actually 48. And stopping out. on the pound Aussie. And yep, stopped to 48, and we did hit target 2 on crude, so that gets us to POQ on crude. Trailer to 61.54. All right, 21.50 or 61.54 for the stop on crude. We did hit target 2. Okay, crude stop still at 54. And it's 11 o'clock, so that's a new session for crude. But since that is the only thing with an active trade going right now, and that and the pound Aussie are the only things we're looking for trades on, I believe I'm going to bring it to a close this morning unless I see questions. Kind of a back and forth morning on some of our charts, but ultimately positive. On most. All right, I don't see any questions coming in. So I believe it's time to call it a day. I will be back tomorrow, same time. Or actually, maybe 5 minutes earlier. I typically try to open up about 9:20 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Everyone have a good afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow.